Alright then, today I am looking at the Canon M10. Look how small this is. A friend of mine just bought this and he's allowed me to take a look at it, to review it for you guys. I know it's not a brand new camera, but when do I ever review anything that's brand new? So if you were starting out on YouTube, we will see, is this camera any good for you as a starter? Or if you're getting into photography or videography, we will take a look at this. Let's do it. Alright, so first of all, the thing I notice is it is tiny. I mean, look at this. I don't have big hands, but it fits in my palm easy. So on the front here, obviously we have the lens, we have the button to release the lens, and that's it on the front. On the side we have the Wi-Fi button and near field communications icon. Didn't notice that. I don't know what that metal thing is. It looks like a screw. Maybe you screw something into that. I'm not sure. We've got the little hooks there either side for camera strap. On the back, quite minimalistic. Big screen, and we got a menu button, and we got the dial there, which is directional keys plus flash, and then at the top got the bin and the exposure compensation. Bottom is the info to just change the display, the info that's on the display. And I have no idea what that snowflake is. I gotta be honest, I haven't got a clue. And we got the play button. Underneath, battery compartment and the tripod mounting hole. Battery compartment has a little rubber flap there you can lift up, and you can see that. So if you use the dummy battery in there, you can plug the power cord straight in through there, so you can keep the door closed. And on the other side then we have flash, and we have HDMI cable, which also has a mini USB port which you can use. I don't think you can use it to charge the camera. I did try, it didn't seem to work unless there's a set and I got to do change in the menu, I don't know. And then we got the SD card underneath. That is it. Oh, on the top we've got a dedicated movie record button, and we got the shutter button, and this round shutter button is a dial as well. And we've also got the mode button, just 3 modes on this one: automatic, photo mode and video mode. So turn it on and have a look. Alright, I'm going to show you a couple of the features of this camera, and I'm quite surprised how many there are, to be honest. So this here is in auto mode. Obviously doesn't give you much options here because it handles everything itself. Up the top here we got a Q menu. If you hit that, it allows you to pick your aspect ratio. 3:2 is the best one to go for because it gives you the full 18 megapixels. If you go 16.9 or 69, only gives you 15, so probably best to stick with 3:2, and then you can always crop in post if you so want to. You've got here the timer, self-timer, that's self-explanatory. You've got the drive mode, single or continuous. I would suggest going with single because every time I had it on continuous and I took a photo, it would take about 2 photos of everything I took, which I suppose is a kind of a safe bet, maybe if one slightly out of focus, but it's annoying to have to delete 1 copy of every photo. So I think it's a bit sensitive on that setting, so I'd suggest keeping it on single shot. Up here is the video options, full HD at 29.97p, so I more than likely want to stick with that one. You do have the option of like 24 frames per second, or HD at 60, or VGA, which is only 640 by 480, which you're probably never ever going to want to use. So I just stick it to the top. And then you've got the options for the image quality. Large is probably the best one you're going to want to go for. You have various options here. I'm surprised this camera actually allows you to shoot RAW. I did not know that. I'm surprised for such a small compact camera that it allows RAW shooting, so that's always a good option, especially if you want to kind of get more into photography. So that's about it for the auto mode. So let's switch to photo. Alright then, switching to photo mode. So we have more options here. At the side of the screen here, you've got a couple of quick options. Background blur. So I'm thinking this is using fake background blur, kind of like what smartphones do. So you can adjust that from top to bottom. Keep it in the middle, I would. Ideally for bokeh, you're going to want to use the lens to do that rather than having it digital, but it's up to you. The option is there. You've also got the brightness. You can turn that up and down how you like it. I'm going to keep it in the middle. You've also got smooth skin, which you may be familiar with from smartphones. It makes your skin look a bit smoother, gets rid of blemishes or whatnot. There's only 3 options for this, so probably want to keep it in the middle. Up in the top left here we have another option which allows you to pick from a lot of creative styles. So there's a lot to choose from. I'm not going to go through all of these because it will take a while, but you can see, I thought I'd just skim through it and you can see, I just noticed now they've actually got a food mode. I don't know what that does exactly, but I suppose for people who like vlogging about food and whatnot for the Twitter and Instagram, that is an option there. You've got the usual portrait and landscape, close-up, sports, that type of thing. You've also got fisheye, which gives you a fisheye effect without having to buy a fisheye lens. So that's cool. If I move it around, look at that. That is cool. So there's a lot of creative styles available in the camera. Water painting effect, let's have a look at that. That looks weird. Grainy black and white. I like black and white photography, I'm not gonna lie. So there's a lot of options there. Toy camera effect. I gotta say that does look cool. I'm gonna take a shot. I'll put that up on screen to show you what that looks like. And also the miniature effect. You've also got your manual exposure, aperture priority, shutter priority and program. The same as what you find in most DSLRs and mirrorless cameras of today and yesterday. So there's a lot of options there for you. Self-portrait is probably where you want to keep it for vlogging and stuff, because it'll make your skin look beautiful. Alright, let's switch to video mode. So we got manual video mode right here. You can see there's more options. Your screen is now filling up with info. So we've got the star flake, which I'm pretty sure just turns everything into auto, or vice versa. You can change your shutter speed. You can use the dial around the shutter button to do that, or you can touch the screen. You can also change your f-stop and your ISO and the exposure compensation. So all of those features are available, which again I am quite surprised how much control this camera actually gives you. I didn't expect this much depth, but there you go. So you can hit the Q menu up here and it gives you all the same options as before, like raw image and the frames per second, the drive mode, timer mode. You've also got the autofocus method, which is autofocus and tracking, or just autofocus, 1-point autofocus. So tracking, if you're vlogging, is the one you're going to want to go for, because it'll track your face, and it does a pretty good job at it too. You've also got the auto white balance. You can change the different white balances there. You've got the picture style, which again is like monochrome and all that kind of stuff. You've also got the auto lighting optimizer. So yeah, it gives you quite a bit of control. If you hit the button up here, you can switch it over to movie auto exposure. So it'll pretty much do everything for you, and you can just concentrate on pointing it at yourself or other things and just talking and carrying on with what you're doing. So you can leave it mostly up to the camera. You've also got the servo control down here. You can just knock off. A little green light comes on to say it's on or off. So if you want that autofocus, just stop autofocusing all the time, then that's the one you want to knock off. Otherwise, leave it on. So that's about it for the features and menus inside the camera. You've also got the menu button, which basically gives you all the same kind of stuff but in menu form. So you can go, and there's a couple of other things, you know, but you can go through. I'll just cycle through here so you can see the options. These are the settings of the camera. and then this is, I think, a user defined menu by the looks of it, a custom menu, and then it goes back, so that's like a quick menu sort of thing, and then goes back to there. So there you go, that is that. Alright, so it has surprised me how many features are in this camera, although it makes sense because it is an interchangeable lens camera. So I should have put two and two together really and realised it wasn't just a point and shoot. It allows a lot more creativity and freedom than that. So yeah, it was a good surprise. Alright, so this is actually in photo mode, so it should have the selfie mode or whatever it's called activated. I'm doing a quick walk and talk test. Just going to be walking back and forth. Hopefully I can see a track in my face. Hopefully it's keeping me in focus. Not sure what it is though. There we go. Here I am, walking and talking. It's obviously going to be a bit bumpy because it's not got IBIS. I'm not sure if it's got optical steady shot. It may have. Yeah, I think the lens has got image stabilization, but not the camera itself. Obviously you're not going to get that at this price range. But let's try this in video mode where the optical steady shot should kick in. Alright, so this is now being recorded in video mode, so the aspect ratio might be a bit different. I'm not sure how that works, whether it's in photo mode it switches the aspect ratio for video. I'd imagine it probably does, to be honest. But I'm going to keep walking, talking and rabbiting on. So of course it will be quite bumpy. All cameras are bumpy without a gimbal to a certain extent anyway. I just hope it's lit well enough, that's all. You can see me, and that is keeping focus decently. That's the main two things you want. And of course the audio, maybe having some wind because there is a breeze up, and it's obviously we've only got the built-in mic to use, but otherwise, how's it looking? That is a bad roof that needs fixing badly. Okay, this is now in full auto mode. Just hit the record button, and I'm not sure if there's gonna be any difference, but it should be somewhat of a difference. I don't know, probably not, to be honest. So I'm just basically walking around in circles so you can see what kind of vlogging, and of course how it handles light and focusing. So the light seems to be handling quite well. Couldn't tell you much about the focusing because I'm not close enough to the screen to check that, but we will find out in the edit. So let's go there. Look into my eyes. One thing that's very strange about this camera, and kind of annoying, but I suppose you'd get used to it, is that to zoom in, for some weird reason, you've got to turn it anti-clockwise, as you know, facing this way, anti-clockwise, which is so strange because every lens I've ever used or seen, you turn it clockwise to zoom in, anti-clockwise to zoom out. So this is taking a bit of getting used to. I don't know why Canon decided to go the opposite way for this lens. It's a bit strange. Something else that you should note is when you turn this camera on, you get this notification saying set the lens to shooting position. To do that, you gotta pull this little lever forward and then twist the lens to the left, and you hear it click, and then you leave it there. That now is the shooting position. It does not do it automatic like Sony lenses do. I guess they were trying to cut the costs, so they decided to do it, have it manual in order to keep the price down, which is fine, and you will get used to it after a couple of goes. This is something I wanted to show you. And to close it down, you need to push it forward again and then turn it there, and it locks into place, so it can't be turned. So that's something to note and get used to if you're not used to wrong way around lenses. So all in all then, this is a great little starter camera if you want to start a YouTube channel or whatever, or even just want to get into a bit of videography and photography. It is feature packed. I'm quite surprised, as I said, how many features are in this camera. It really does start rivaling entry-level DSLRs and whatnot. So Canon did a good job of packing a lot of features into such a small device. Ergonomics are fine. I would have preferred to see a grip on the camera, and that would have allowed a bigger battery to possibly be used, but I suppose they didn't want to do that, so they didn't. They kept the size down. Also, there's no viewfinder on it, but again, I see why, because if you did have a viewfinder, you wouldn't be able to flip the screen right round like that, because the viewfinder would then be in the way. So I guess they decided to not go with it, which is fine. There's also not a hot shoe at the top, you should note that as well. So no hot shoe means you can't get one of those clip-on viewfinders or microphones or anything. There's also no mic input. That is a big downside for me. If it's not for you, then it's not a problem. But it does have Wi-Fi and near-field communications. You can connect it to your phone, but this is designed as a run and gun type vlogging camera, so it does that very well. And seeing as you can pick these up for not a lot of money, I'd say it's pretty damn good. So with that said, I'm out. Any comments or questions, leave them down below, and I'll see you again. Ciao, blah.